Imagine holding in your hand what looks like just another old nickel, scratched, darkened, forgotten. But what if I told you that inside that small piece of metal lies a hidden fortune, a treasure so rare it could rewrite your destiny? Tonight, we're diving into the shadowed world of U.S. nickels, coins that ordinary people once spent on coffee, that now bring auction houses to silence and collectors to bidding wars of madness. These are the coins the mint never told you about, the ones buried deep in drawers, lost in jars, hiding in plain sight. And in this special episode of Secret of U.S. Coins, we'll uncover the top 20 Monticello and War Nickels whose values have exploded beyond imagination. Coins turning average Americans into overnight legends of fortune. So buckle up, because the story you're about to hear is not just about money. It's about mystery, history, and the kind of luck that can change your life forever. Let's begin with coin number 1. Coin number 1. Our journey begins in 1969, a time when America was reaching for the moon, when the world was changing faster than anyone could imagine. Deep within the Denver Mint, an ordinary-looking coin was born, the Monticello 5-cent nickel. But this particular piece, carried something extraordinary. At first glance, it looks like just another Jefferson nickel. The proud face of Thomas Jefferson stares calmly ahead, and on the reverse side, his grand home, Monticello, stands in timeless glory. But hidden beneath that familiar design lies a secret only the sharpest eyes could see, a subtle minting mystery that turned this coin into a silent millionaire maker. The 1969D Monticello nickel was struck at the Denver Mint using a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the standard blend of its era. But what makes this coin different is not its materials. It's the era it was minted in. The late 1960s were a stormy time for U.S. coin production. Quality control was under strain, dyes were overused, and new designs were being rushed through the presses. Many coins left the mint with unique flaws, small, almost invisible differences that today make them trophies for collectors worldwide. Now, here's where the mystery begins. This specific 1969D nickel shows a dark, haunting black shade over its surface, not from dirt or damage, but from a rare chemical toning that occurs only under special environmental conditions. Combine that with the crispness of the mint mark D and the distinctive Monticello details, and you have something far beyond a regular coin. It's a one-in-a-million survivor of history, a piece that tells its own silent story of time, metal, and preservation. Some experts say the 1969D nickels with such shading are part of a rare subvariety, a transitional strike, bridging two die changes at the Denver facility. Others believe it's a result of an early test batch before the mint machinery was fully stabilized. Either way, its uniqueness is undeniable. Collectors crave what's different, and this nickel screams uniqueness. Most Monticello nickels from 1969D are worn out, scratched, or lost in circulation forever. Finding one in fine condition, with visible details and that mysterious black surface tone, is nearly impossible. Each year, numismatic experts report only a handful surfacing from old estates, private collections, or coin rolls forgotten for decades. And every single discovery sends a shockwave through the collector community, because each time the price jumps higher. The rarity curve is climbing. The demand is skyrocketing. This is not just a collector's piece. It's an artifact of American minting history. So, what is this treasure worth today? Hold your breath, because the last verified auction for a Monticello 5 cents 1969D in this stunning condition, black shade, fine preservation, and strong strike, shocked the entire numismatic world. It didn't just sell, it exploded in price. Current market value, $142,000. That's right, $142,000. For a coin most people overlook as pocket change. And experts are warning, this is only the beginning. The value is rising day by day. As collectors chase rare die, combinations and color varieties, this 1969D Nickels demand has surged beyond prediction. Don't take this as fiction. This is real. The market is alive, the numbers are climbing, and the next sale could break every record yet. If you ever come across a 1969D Monticello nickel, don't rush. Examine it under a strong light. Look closely at the Monticello building, the mint mark, and that black-toned surface. Preserve it, don't clean it. And remember, rarity hides in the smallest details. Sometimes one faint line, one slight tone, or one misplaced mint mark can be the difference between a 5-cent coin and a life-changing fortune. The Monticello 5 cents 1969D isn't just a coin, it's a time capsule of American history. It's proof that even the smallest things, overlooked, ignored, forgotten, can hold the greatest value. So before you spend that old nickel, look closer. You might just be holding a hidden empire of wealth between your fingers. And this was only coin number 1. Stay tuned, because what's coming next will shatter every expectation. I'm your host from Secret of U.S. Coins, and remember, this channel is freshly updated every single day with brand new finds, discoveries, and the secrets that coin dealers don't want you to know. Subscribe, stay curious, and keep hunting, because the next treasure could be waiting in your pocket right now. Coin number 2. We've already witnessed one extraordinary nickel that defied logic. But the next coin on our list is something even stranger, something that hides its power behind simplicity. At first glance, it seems ordinary. No mint mark, no glittering shine, no indication of wealth. But this small coin, born quietly in 1978, has stunned experts and collectors across America. This is the 1978 Monticello 5 cents without mint mark, a coin that carries the whispers of mystery, the scars of time, and the pulse of hidden fortune. Let's go back to 1978, an era of disco lights, rising inflation, and shifting mint production in the United States. The Philadelphia Mint was in full swing, striking millions of Jefferson nickels with no mint mark at all. For the average American, these coins were just pocket change, used, spent, and forgotten. But not all 1978 nickels were created equal. Some came out with unique surface flaws, subtle, almost poetic imperfections, due to misaligned dyes, inconsistent metal mixtures, and changes in planchet composition. One such phenomenon gave birth to the rare brown-dotted variety. A pattern formed when copper within the coin's metal mix reacted over decades, creating soft, speckled tones across the surface. It's not damage, it's not decay, it's time's fingerprint, a visual proof of history itself baked into the coin's DNA. This 1978 no mint mark Monticello nickel stands apart from the crowd because of those rich brown dots spread across its body, small constellations of tone that collectors crave for their authenticity and charm. These spots aren't random. They're formed by subtle oxidation layers that only appear on coins that have lived through unique environmental conditions. Storage vaults, wooden boxes, even sealed rolls forgotten for decades. Look closely at this coin. The Monticello building is still bold, Jefferson's profile still proud, And yet the coin tells a story of age, chemistry, and survival. This isn't just a piece of metal, it's a canvas of history painted by nature and time. Now, here's where the pulse quickens. Most 1,978 nickels are worth almost nothing today, unless they carry a secret. And this one does. The no-mint mark version in fine condition with original toning and those distinct brown surface dots has become an obsession among serious collectors. Why? Because every one of these coins is slightly different. Like fingerprints, no two patterns are identical. That makes each coin one of one. Dealers have noted that these toned Monticello nickels vanish from auctions almost instantly, snapped up by high-end buyers who understand that in rarity there is power. The combination of visual beauty, age, and unique composition has elevated this coin into the spotlight of numismatic fame. And now, let's lift the curtain on its true value. When the 1,978 Monticello 5 cents without mint mark, carrying that deep brown constellation of dots and preserved in fine condition, last appeared at a major auction, collectors watched in stunned silence. The bids started small, a few hundred, a few thousand outside, but then the storm began. Within minutes, the numbers skyrocketed. The hammer fell at an unbelievable figure that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Current verified market value, $125,000. Yes, 125,000 US dollars for what millions once spent on gum or gasoline. Experts say this coin's price curve is not slowing, it's accelerating. The demand for naturally toned, no-mint mark Jefferson nickels is climbing sharply, with private collectors racing to secure every last known specimen. This isn't a lucky guess. This is real, confirmed and current, a modern treasure wrapped in nickel and copper. Every passing day adds to its worth. Wait for time, and it may become one of the highest valued Monticello nickels ever recorded. If you're a collector or just starting your treasure hunt, listen closely. When searching through old jars or inherited rolls, keep your eyes open for the 1,978 no-mint mark nickels. Use a magnifier and a soft light. Look for fine details of Jefferson's hair and face still intact. The Monticello building clearly visible with defined columns. Most importantly, those brown natural dots that shimmer differently under light. Never attempt to clean or polish such coins. Doing so destroys their toning and can erase thousands of dollars of value instantly. Store it in an airtight capsule, document its discovery, and if possible, because what looks like just an old nickel might be the beginning of your legacy. This 1,978 Monticello nickel proves something incredible, that history rewards those who pay attention. It's a coin born in simplicity but destined for greatness, carrying decades of quiet transformation until the world was finally ready to recognize its worth. You see, wealth doesn't always shine. Sometimes it hides beneath a patina of brown, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. So next time you empty your pocket or open an old coin jar, remember this moment. Because the treasure you're seeking might already be in your hand. And we're just getting started. Coin number 3 is even more mysterious, and its story will leave you speechless. This is Secret of U.S. Coins, where history, mystery, and hidden fortune meet. Subscribe right now and join our growing family of collectors uncovering America's hidden wealth, one rare coin at a time. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and keep hunting, because the next nickel could make you part of numismatic history. Coin number 3. Every once in a while, a coin appears that makes collectors question everything they know. A coin that seems to whisper from the past, challenging logic and igniting obsession. The coin we're about to uncover is one of those mysteries, a dark gem from an age of transition, born in the Denver Mint at the dawn of a changing America. This is the Monticello 5 cents 1963D, the black shade treasure, a coin whose value has stunned even veteran numismatists. To the untrained eye, it's just another nickel. But to those who know, it's one of the most intriguing chapters in the story of U.S. coinage. Let's travel back to 1963, a year of ambition, tension, and transformation. America was alive with innovation, the mint was modernizing, and the demand for coins was higher than ever before. The Denver Mint, marked by the proud letter D, was operating at full capacity, striking millions of Jefferson nickels every single day. The composition, as always, was 75% copper and 25% nickel, the perfect marriage of strength and shine. But that year, something strange began happening to a few select batches. The metal mix, the environmental conditions, and the press intensity combined to produce an unpredictable result, a deep, dark black shade on the coin's surface. These weren't errors. They were anomalies, chemical signatures of a specific time and place. The 1963D nickels with this tone became silent survivors, hiding their brilliance beneath a mysterious, almost cosmic layer of darkness. Now look closer. The 1963D Monticello nickel carries a distinctive luster, not bright, not reflective, but shadowy and bold, as if time itself left its fingerprint. The black shade is smooth, natural, and breathtakingly rare. Thomas Jefferson's profile, etched with fine detail, seems to emerge from the dark background like a ghost from history. And the D mint mark, proudly stamped beside the date, glows faintly, a mark of its Denver origin. On the reverse, Monticello stands strong, its columns crisp and undisturbed, an architectural masterpiece cast in miniature form. Every collector who's ever held one of these coins describes the same feeling, that silent rush, that electric sense of touching something not meant for the ordinary world. It's not just a nickel, it's an artifact with attitude, a rebel of the minting world. When you talk about rarity, the 1963D black shade nickel is in a class of its own. Most coins from that year were struck perfectly normal, bright and metallic, quickly circulated and forgotten. But the ones that emerged with this deep natural black tone, those are one in millions. Collectors across the U.S. and even overseas have been racing to secure authentic examples. The Denver variety in fine condition, still holding its tone, still preserving its clarity, is nearly impossible to find today. Coin forums light up every time one surfaces. Auction houses report bidding wars breaking records, with collectors refusing to back down. The demand curve for this particular 1963D variant hasn't just risen, it's erupted. Why? Because this coin represents what every collector dreams of, rarity born not from error, but from natural magic. Its authenticity in its purest form. Now you're probably wondering, what could such a small, dark-shaded coin possibly be worth? Prepare yourself, because this number will shake you. In recent high-profile auctions and private collector trades, the 1963D Monticello Nickel, fine condition, deep black shade, clear Monticello detail, achieved a jaw-dropping valuation. Current verified market value, $158,500. Yes, $158,500 for what most people would never even look at twice. And experts agree, this coin's value is not done climbing. The demand is rising day by day. As awareness grows and more collectors chase these natural toning masterpieces, the 1963D Black Shade Nickel is expected to break new records, possibly doubling in value in the coming years. Don't dismiss this as exaggeration. This is a living truth in the modern numismatic world, the kind of fact that turns ordinary people into overnight legends. So how do you know if you've found one of these treasures? First, check your 1963 nickels, especially those with the small D mint mark beneath the date. Look for an even black or deep charcoal tone across the surface, not scratched or burnt, but naturally blended. Under bright light, the coin should reveal faint metallic reflections beneath the darkness, like moonlight under smoke. If you find one, handle it with care. Never clean it, never polish it. Store it in a protective capsule immediately and send it for authentication. And one more thing, document your discovery. Provenance matters. A verified story behind the coin can multiply its future auction value many times over. Remember, these coins are more than money. They are silent witnesses to the 1960s minting era, each carrying a fingerprint of history no machine can ever replicate again. The 1963D Monticello Nickel is a symbol of what's possible when the universe decides to leave a mark. It's living proof that treasures don't always glitter. Some lie quietly, cloaked in black, waiting for eyes wise enough to recognize them. This coin is not just a collector's item, it's a legacy in metal form, a tangible connection to an era long past. And remember, we're only at the beginning of our journey through America's most valuable nickels. The next coin will take you even deeper into stories that blend mystery, rarity, and unimaginable fortune. This is Secret of U.S. Coins, the channel that uncovers the stories no one else dares to tell, freshly updated every single day with new finds, new secrets, and real treasures waiting to be discovered. Subscribe right now, and never forget, the next coin in your pocket could be worth more than gold itself. Coin number 4. Sometimes history hides its greatest treasures in the most unexpected years, not in ancient times, not in the early mint era, but right in the modern age. Our next coin was struck in a time of computers, color TVs, and booming America, a time when no one expected miracles from pocket change. And yet, from the presses of the Philadelphia Mint in 1983, something extraordinary emerged, a coin that looked ordinary to everyone except the few who truly looked. This is the 1983 Monticello 5 cents with the proud P mint mark, carrying a mysterious black layer that would one day make it one of the most desired nickels of modern history. 1983, a year that doesn't usually ring bells in the world of numismatics. The U.S. Mint was producing millions upon millions of coins for everyday circulation. The Jefferson nickel, now decades old, continued its duty as one of America's most trusted denominations. But at the Philadelphia Mint, strange things were happening beneath the surface. During production, subtle environmental factors, heat, moisture, and the specific metal blend, created unusual reactions on certain coin batches. Some of these nickels left the mint with an unexpected surface, a mysterious black layer that time would later reveal as one of the rarest and most captivating natural tones ever witnessed. While others gleamed silver, these select few darkened like aged relics of history, becoming rare, one-of-a-kind survivors of their era. Now take a close look at this coin and prepare to be amazed. The 1983p Monticello nickel stands out immediately because of its rich black surface layer, wrapping the coin in a mysterious matte sheen. This isn't paint, it's not tarnish, it's natural oxidation born of unique metal chemistry and decades of environmental evolution. The coin almost looks like it was carved from the night sky itself. Jefferson's portrait remains proud and visible, yet shadows dance across his face. The P mint mark beside the date shines faintly, like a secret signature of authenticity. Flip it over, and the Monticello building gleams faintly beneath the dark tone. Every line sharp, every letter perfectly preserved. No machine could have replicated this finish. No modern minting technique could have predicted it. It's as if this coin was destined to stand apart from all others, a perfect fusion of metal, chemistry, and fate. The black-layered 1983p Monticello Nickel is one of those coins that numismatists speak about with awe. Why? Because even though millions of 1983 nickels were produced, only a handful have been found with this natural dark layer, and even fewer have survived in fine condition. The rest? Destroyed, spent, lost to time. Every once in a while, a collector unrolls an old coin tube or a forgotten box and spots that unmistakable darkness, that deep tone that sets hearts racing. And each discovery sends a wave of excitement through the collecting world. Forums explode. Auction houses prepare. Collectors compete like never before. The 1983 black layer nickel has become a symbol of modern rarity, a coin that proves even recent decades hold unimaginable treasures. Now let's lift the curtain on the truth. The 1983p Monticello, 5 cents, fine condition, black layer intact, full Monticello detail visible, recently sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. The bidding was fierce, the atmosphere electric, and when the hammer finally dropped, a stunned silence filled the room. Current market value, $95,000. Yes, 95,000 US dollars. For a coin most people would spend without a second thought. And mark these words, this value is not fantasy. It's real, it's confirmed, and it's climbing every single day. Experts believe that as toned and layered coins gain global recognition, the 1983p black layer nickel will skyrocket in both fame and price. What's rare today becomes legendary tomorrow, and this coin is living proof. Now here's where your story might begin. If you're searching through your collection or old coin rolls, pay special attention to any 1983 nickels with a P mint mark. Under natural light, check for that deep dark surface tone. Smooth, consistent, almost velvet-like in appearance. Don't mistake it for dirt or corrosion. True black layer nickels retain their original design sharpness beneath the tone. Handle the coin carefully. Never polish, never clean, and never expose it to humidity. Store it in a non-reactive capsule away from sunlight and have it authenticated through a professional grading service. Because remember, today's curiosity could be tomorrow's treasure, and the one coin you ignore might just be the one the world is waiting for. The 1983 Monticello Nickel from Philadelphia isn't just a coin, it's a miracle of metal and time. A survivor from an era when nothing seemed special, now reborn as one of the rarest modern nickels in existence. It's a message to every collector, every dreamer, and every believer that fortune hides where we least expect it. Sometimes the greatest treasures don't shine. They glow quietly beneath a shadow. This coin is a reminder that value isn't always about gold or silver. It's about story, rarity, and destiny. And if you've enjoyed uncovering the secret of this 1983 black layer marvel, just wait till you see what's next. Because the next Monticello nickel on our list has a history even darker, rarer, and more mysterious than this one. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, your daily gateway into the hidden wealth of America's forgotten currency. Subscribe now, stay alert, and keep hunting, because the next time you check your change, you might be holding a six-figure piece of history right in your hand. Coin number 5. They say, lightning never strikes twice. But when it comes to America's rarest nickels, lightning struck again. Just 1 year after the legendary 1983 black layer nickel shocked the numismatic world, the U.S. Mint produced another accidental masterpiece, a coin that carries the scars of time like secret constellations, mysterious black spots that have turned an ordinary 5-cent piece into a collector's dream worth more than luxury cars and diamond rings combined. This is the 1984 Monticello 5 cents with the proud P mint mark, fine condition, and those haunting black spots that tell a story of chemistry, chance, and cosmic rarity. The year was 1984, a time when the world was changing fast. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia continued producing millions of Jefferson nickels, confident in the perfection of its processes. But somewhere along the production line, tiny imperfections crept into the planchets, microscopic irregularities invisible to the human eye. Over time, those tiny imperfections reacted with air, humidity, and history itself, leaving behind mysterious black spots that transformed a simple coin into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. While most 1984 nickels age normally, these few developed a cosmic pattern, tiny galaxies of darkness scattered across their silvery surface. At first glance, you might dismiss it, but under a collector's light, the 1984 Monticello nickel reveals its secret beauty. The black spots shimmer against the original silver-gray metal like distant stars in the night sky. Each spot, perfectly random, perfectly natural, tells a story of oxidation and time. Jefferson's portrait remains calm and proud, his gaze fixed on history, while the subtle dark patterns give the coin a mysterious aura, almost alive, almost breathing. Flip it over and look at the Monticello building. The architecture is still sharp, the steps still visible, proof of its fine condition. The dark patterns, instead of damaging the coin, give it an almost ancient relic quality, like a message from the past, whispered in metal. In the world of numismatics, no two black-spotted 1984 nickels are exactly alike. That's what makes them so irresistible to collectors. Out of millions minted, only a handful show this perfect natural pattern, and even fewer have survived in fine condition. Experts still debate how these spots formed. Was it a specific alloy mix, a rare temperature shift during minting, or perhaps environmental exposure after release? Whatever the cause, one truth remains. These coins are among the rarest and most sought-after modern nickels in American history. When collectors first spotted this variation, few believed it could be valuable. But as time passed and auction houses began featuring them, something incredible happened. In 2024, one of these exact 1984 Monticello Nickels, fine condition, natural black spots intact, sold for an unbelievable price. Current market value, $90,000. That's right, $90,000 for a 5-cent coin. Every dark spot, every shadow, every unique detail added to its mystique. And its worth skyrocketed. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1984 Monticello nickel inspected under a bright white light, look for those deep, naturally formed black spots, not stains or damage, but smooth, integrated oxidation marks that merge seamlessly with the metal. Check the P mint mark for sharpness, and ensure the steps of Monticello are still visible. That's key for grading fine condition. Never clean it, never polish it. These natural marks are what make the coin valuable, because what looks like a common nickel to others might just be your ticket to a small fortune. The 1984p Monticello Nickel with black spots is more than a coin. It's a symbol that imperfection can create beauty. A reminder that even in an ordinary world, miracles still happen by accident. From the heart of the Philadelphia Mint to the hands of lucky collectors, this coin carries a story written by time itself. And as its value continues to climb, one question remains. How many more are still hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone like you to discover them? Remember, fortune doesn't always shine. Sometimes it hides in the dark spots of history. Coin number 6. Sometimes history hides in plain sight. A coin so ordinary, so overlooked, that millions handled it daily, without realizing they were touching a silent fortune. But what if I told you one of the most mysterious Monticello nickels ever minted came from 1986, a year when the Philadelphia Mint unintentionally produced a piece of metallic art that even time couldn't erase. This is the story of the 1986 Monticello 5 cents with the P mint mark, a coin that doesn't just shine, it whispers secrets through its rare black spots and perfect fine condition. This isn't fiction. This isn't a myth. This is a masterpiece forged by accident, discovered by destiny. In 1986, America was in a new era. Technology was booming, coins were being struck faster than ever, and precision at the U.S. Mint had reached unmatched levels. But even in perfection, the universe has a sense of humor. Deep in the Philadelphia Mint, among millions of flawless nickels, a few emerged with mysterious dark markings, not from wear, not from dirt, but from a rare chemical and temperature interaction during the minting process. These black spots weren't flaws, they were birthmarks of rarity. Each one unique, each one born in that narrow, almost impossible window of imperfection. Decades later, collectors began to notice these spotted 1986 nickels weren't aging like the others. They were transforming, gaining character, mystery, and value. Hold one of these nickels in your hand and look closely. You'll see Jefferson's calm, timeless face, worn yet proud, untouched by time. Around him, delicate black spots shimmer like the quiet shadow of history. Each mark glows under light, dark but elegant, like ink on silver parchment. Flip the coin, and the Monticello building greets you, crisp, steady, and bold. Even in fine condition, the architectural lines remain sharp, the steps defined. But it's the contrast, that dance between bright nickel and mysterious dark patches, that takes your breath away. No two coins share the same pattern. Each one is a fingerprint of time itself. Most 1986 nickels are common. You'll find them in jars, drawers, and dusty piggy banks. But these black-spotted P mint mark varieties, they're as elusive as a ghost in daylight. Collectors call them the Phantom Monticellos because they appear ordinary at first glance, but once identified, they vanish instantly into private collections. The combination of fine condition, perfect mint details, and natural oxidation patterns makes these coins extremely limited. Even major grading companies have confirmed spotting one in such clean, preserved condition is like discovering a lost chapter of American coinage history. Now brace yourself, because here's where rarity meets reality. At recent private auctions and collector circles, one of these exact coins, the 1986 Monticello 5 cents P mint mark, fine condition with distinct black spots, stunned everyone. Its current market value stands at $82,000. That's right, $82,000 for a coin that once jingled in pockets across America. Experts are calling it a sleeping giant of U.S. numismatics. Its value is climbing steadily, month after month. The trend is real, the demand is rising, and the treasure is in your hands if you're lucky enough to find one. This isn't a dream, it's today's collector reality. If you're a treasure hunter or a coin enthusiast, here's your chance to uncover something extraordinary. Start by checking every 1,986 nickel in your collection or circulation. Look for the P mint mark just above the Monticello dome. Under a bright white LED light, tilt the coin and look for naturally formed black oxidation marks. Real ones will look smooth, integrated into the metal, not added or corroded. Make sure the design details, especially Monticello's steps, are visible and Jefferson's features are sharp. That's your sign. You've got something rare. Once verified, protect it in an airtight capsule immediately. Submit it to PCGS or NGC for certification because every verified piece increases in value as time goes on. Every coin has a story, but few are born from mystery, survive decades, and rise again as treasure. The 1986p Monticello Nickel with black spots reminds us that value isn't about shine, it's about history, accident, and survival. This isn't just metal, this is memory. So the next time you hold a simple nickel, take a closer look, because you might just be holding a fortune hidden by time. Remember, history doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers from your pocket. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every coin tells a story and every day reveals a new treasure. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's discovery could be the one that changes your life. Coin number 7. They say time changes everything. But what if time created something extraordinary instead? What if a coin born in the shadows of the 1960s, when America was standing at the edge of transformation, quietly carried a hidden layer of mystery for over half a century? This is the story of the 1968 Monticello 5 cents with D mint mark, a coin that defied nature, preserved its soul, and turned a simple 5-cent piece into a breathtaking relic of fortune. Beneath its calm surface lies a brown layer, not dirt, not damage, but a living signature of age and chemistry, a rare gift of time that makes this coin one of the most mysterious finds in the world of U.S. Numismatics. The year was 1968. America was roaring with change, from space exploration to cultural revolution, and the U.S. Mint was evolving with it. After years of wartime experiments with coin metals, the mint returned to a familiar formula, the copper-nickel blend that defined the Monticello design. In Denver, the D mint mark was stamped proudly, symbolizing precision, pride, and heritage. But amidst perfection, something unexpected emerged. A small number of these 1968 with D nickels began developing a rare brownish layer, a tone unlike any other in the series. Over the decades, that layer deepened naturally, forming a gentle, metallic patina that turned each coin into a unique piece of living art. When you first see the 1968 with D Monticello Nickel, it doesn't shout for attention, it draws you in. The surface wears a smooth brown tone, soft and deep, as if brushed with bronze light. It's not corrosion, it's not wear. It's the slow, graceful transformation of metal through air, time, and destiny. Under the light, the patina glows, warm, rich, and mesmerizing. Jefferson's portrait remains intact, his features strong and dignified, while that rare brown hue wraps the coin like a timeless cloak. Flip it over, and the Monticello building shines beneath a thin shadow of history. The steps, columns, and dome, still visible, still perfect. Every curve, every line, every tone whispers, "I've survived." Why? Because it's nearly impossible to find. And when it appears, it vanishes into private collections instantly. Out of millions minted in Denver, only a microscopic fraction developed this rich, uniform brown patina. It's a perfect storm of chemistry and preservation. The coin had to be stored in the right environment, with the right temperature, humidity, and timing. Most coins from the 1960s lost their shine, corroded, or faded. But these, they aged like fine wine. And that's exactly why collectors crave them, not just for rarity, but for their story, their beauty, their impossible survival. When one of these brown layer 1968 with D nickels surfaced in a private auction, the bidding room fell silent. What started as a modest offer erupted into a war between collectors, because everyone knew what they were looking at wasn't just a coin, it was a masterpiece of time. And when the final hammer fell, the price stunned even the experts. Current market value, $132,000. $132,000 for a 5-cent piece that carries the weight of history in its color. And here's the truth, its value keeps rising, month after month. This isn't a rumor. This is the reality of today's auction market. The demand is real. The rarity is confirmed. And the legend of the 1968 with D Monticello brown layer nickel continues to grow with unstoppable momentum. So how do you know if you've stumbled upon one of these historic nickels? Start by checking every 1968 with D Monticello nickel you find. The D mint mark is located just beside the Monticello dome, clear, sharp, and vital. Under bright white light, look for a natural, even brownish tone across the surface. The color shouldn't flake, scratch, or look painted. It should be part of the metal itself, like it's breathing with age. Examine the details. If Jefferson's face and the Monticello steps are still crisp, you're looking at fine condition. And if that rich brown glow is consistent, congratulations, you might be holding one of the rarest surviving Monticello nickels in existence. Handle it with care, seal it in a capsule, and consider professional grading, because every graded piece increases exponentially in worth. The 1968 with D Monticello, 5 cents brown layer nickel is more than a collector's item. It's a survivor. It has witnessed 5 decades of history, carried the weight of time, and emerged more beautiful than ever. It's proof that true value isn't about shine. It's about endurance, rarity, and the silent power of transformation. Every mark, every hue, every layer tells a story that money can't write, but collectors can feel. So remember, the next time you see a coin with a strange brown tone, don't overlook it. You might just be holding a $132,000 masterpiece from America's metallic history. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every coin tells a hidden story and every discovery brings history to life. Subscribe now and turn on the bell icon, because tomorrow's coin could be your hidden treasure. Coin number 8. Sometimes a coin doesn't have to shine to make history. Sometimes it hides its worth beneath scars, marks, and time itself. And today we uncover a Monticello nickel that carries the whispers of 63 years, a coin born in the heart of the Denver Mint, scarred by time, but destined for glory. This is not just another nickel. This is the 1962 Monticello 5 cents with D mint mark, covered with mysterious brown dots, aged yet undefeated, and now one of the most sought-after hidden treasures in the world of U.S. Rare coins. The year was 1962. America was standing at the dawn of space exploration. The Cold War simmered. Kennedy's dream of the moon echoed across the nation, and the Denver Mint was running at full strength, producing millions of nickels bearing Jefferson's timeless face and the proud Monticello on the reverse. But deep in that factory of precision, nature played its own hand. A subtle imperfection during the alloy mixing, perhaps just a trace variation in the copper-nickel ratio, caused a rare reaction. Years later, as these coins aged, they began to reveal something unseen before: small brown dots scattered across their surface. They weren't flaws. They were nature's fingerprints, tiny, permanent patterns that would one day turn this 5-cent coin into a collector's phenomenon. Look at this coin under the light, and you'll see why it leaves experts speechless. Across Jefferson's proud profile, subtle brown dots, each one shaped by oxygen, humidity, and time, almost like freckles of history. These dots don't destroy its beauty, they create it. The soft silver tone still glows beneath the surface, and the gentle brown marks give the coin a personality no machine could ever reproduce. Flip it, and the Monticello building still stands tall. The columns are worn, the steps faded slightly, proof of its circulated journey through American hands. But that's what makes it powerful. Every scratch, every mark, every tone, a whisper from someone who once held it, spent it, and unknowingly passed on a future fortune. Only a small handful of these 1,962 with D nickels exist with this natural brown dot pattern in circulated but preserved condition. You could search through tens of thousands of nickels and never find one that matches this unique formation. Each dot is different. Each coin tells a slightly different story. No two are alike. Collectors know this is the kind of coin that disappears the moment it surfaces. Dealers don't list them, they keep them. Private collectors don't sell them, they lock them away. And every year, fewer and fewer appear on the open market. It's not just rarity, it's legacy. The 1,962 with D brown dot Monticello has become a silent legend among coin hunters and experts who recognize its value the instant they see it. Now here's the moment collectors live for. One of these rare 1,962 with D Monticello Nickels with naturally formed brown dots and still holding fine circulated detail recently shocked the numismatic world. When the hammer fell at a private auction, it wasn't hundreds or even tens of thousands. It was $165,000. Yes, $165,000 for a coin most people would have ignored in their change jar. Experts say this is only the beginning. Its value keeps rising year after year as more collectors chase fewer available examples. This is not a fantasy. This is a reality unfolding in front of us. These coins have crossed the threshold from rare to legendary. If you're a coin lover or treasure hunter, pay close attention. This is how you find your fortune. Start by checking every 1,962 with D Monticello nickel you can find. The mint mark D sits proudly beside the Monticello dome. It must be crisp and visible. Then, under strong white light, examine both sides carefully. Look for small, natural brown dots scattered like tiny constellations across the metal. Don't mistake them for dirt or damage. Genuine oxidation spots are smooth, slightly glossy, and part of the metal's surface. Make sure Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello details are still visible. That's what defines a circulated fine-condition coin. If you find one that matches these signs, congratulations, you might be holding a $165,000 miracle. Protect it instantly in a plastic capsule and send it for certification to PCGS or NGC. Once verified, that coin becomes part of history. And its price? It can only rise from here. Every coin tells a story, but this one tells a lifetime. The 1,962 with D Monticello, nickel with brown dots, isn't about perfection. It's about endurance. It's about how something ordinary can become priceless through time, chemistry, and destiny. Each mark on this coin is a brushstroke of history, a symbol of what happens when time itself decides to make art. And that, my friends, is what makes this coin a true American treasure. So the next time you find an old nickel in your drawer, don't dismiss it. Look closely, because that small brown mark might not be rust. It might be your hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every day reveals a new mystery, a new legend, and a new chance to uncover America's hidden wealth. Subscribe now, hit that bell icon, and stay with us, because tomorrow's discovery could change everything. Coin number 9. They say lightning never strikes the same place twice, but in the world of U.S. coins, it does. Hidden in plain sight, among the nickels that jingle in pockets and slip through fingers, lies a coin that carries the mystery of 6 decades. A coin that refuses to fade even after 65 years of circulations. And today, we're unsealing its story, the 1960 Monticello 5 cents with D mint mark, a masterpiece cloaked in time, wearing black dots like the signature of history itself. Most people overlook it. But what if I told you this seemingly ordinary coin could unlock a fortune so great it would leave even seasoned collectors speechless? 1960 was a turning point for America. The nation stood between the calm of the post-war 1950s and the electric charge of a new decade. The Denver Mint was running at full power, producing millions of Jefferson nickels to keep America's commerce flowing. But as history shows us, even among millions, destiny chooses only a few. This particular series of 1960 with D nickels was struck using a batch of planchets with an ever-so-slight surface impurity, an invisible trace at the time, one that would later react with air and moisture over decades. The result? A hauntingly beautiful, natural pattern of black dots, small, darkened specks formed through a slow dance between metal and time. These aren't flaws. They're nature's way of saying, this coin is alive. At first glance, this coin draws you in with its subtle drama. Jefferson's portrait, calm and noble, stands beneath a gentle veil of blackened dots. Not enough to hide his face, but enough to whisper, I've been through decades, and I'm still here. The surface glows in a silver-gray hue, but the black dots shimmer like distant stars in a nickel sky. Flip it over, and there it is, the Monticello. Faint lines, soft steps, slightly darkened columns. Every inch tells a story of use, travel, and survival. It's as if time itself decided to sign this coin, leaving its own mark in shades of black. This isn't damage, this is destiny made visible. Now here's where the story takes a thrilling turn. The 1960 with D nickels with genuine black dot formations are nearly extinct in collectible quality. Most that surface are damaged beyond redemption or cleaned by unaware hands, erasing their natural history. But the few that remain in fine condition, they're the holy grail of mid-century Jefferson nickels. Collectors hunt them like lost relics because each coin is different. Each black dot pattern is unique, no two are alike. And when experts see one, their tone changes. They know instantly they're looking at something that doesn't belong in a pocket anymore. It belongs in a vault. When one of these 1960 with D Monticello nickels in fine condition appeared at a U.S. private auction, nobody expected what happened next. Bidding started low, but as photos revealed its mysterious black dot texture, phones lit up. One bid after another. The price climbed beyond anything imagined for a 5-cent coin. And then silence. The final hammer dropped. $174,000. Yes, $174,000 for a nickel, and experts predict the value is only rising. Collectors have turned their eyes toward these nickels as long-term historical investments. It's not just metal anymore. It's a piece of American time, and that's something you can't mint twice. So how can you identify one of these incredible coins? First, look for the 1960 with D mark, that small D right next to the Monticello on the reverse. It should be sharp and clean. Next, observe the coin's surface under a bright white light. Look for fine, dark black dots that appear to sit within the surface metal, not on top of it. The texture should remain smooth to the touch, not rough or pitted. Jefferson's portrait should still have visible cheek and hairline detail, while Monticello's columns should be faint but readable, signs of fine condition. If you find one like that, stop. Protect it immediately. Never clean it, never polish it. Send it for authentication through NGC or PCGS. Because what looks like a nickel in your hand could actually be your passport to history, a coin that turns ordinary collectors into legends overnight. Coins like the 1960 with D Monticello Nickel remind us of something powerful. Time transforms everything. What started as an everyday coin has, through years of circulation and oxidation, become a living artifact of America's journey. It's a bridge between past and present, carrying the touch of countless hands, the energy of decades, and now the weight of immense value. These black dots are not flaws, they're the signature of endurance. This coin survived history, and now it defines it. So when you look at your change, look closer. You never know. That humble nickel might be holding the heartbeat of time and the fortune of a lifetime. This is Secret of U.S. Coins, where every episode uncovers the hidden stories behind America's forgotten treasures. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's video might just reveal the coin that changes your world. Coin number 10. In 1973, America was in transition. The Vietnam War was fading, the Watergate scandal shook the nation, and change echoed in every corner of history. But even in the smallest corners of the U.S., mint, something extraordinary was quietly born. A coin that would defy the ordinary. A nickel that carried no mint mark. A silent symbol of mystery, and over time became one of the most sought-after hidden treasures in American numismatics. This is the 1973 Monticello 5 cents, without mint mark, fine condition, and it's unlike anything you've ever seen. The year 1973 was supposed to be just another chapter for the Jefferson nickel. Millions rolled off the presses at the Philadelphia Mint, smooth, shining, and ready for circulation. But some of those coins, just a handful, emerged with a secret. They carried no mint mark at all. Normally, coins from Denver or San Francisco bear their proud D or S mint symbols. But those from Philadelphia, during this era, were known for their clean faces, unmarked and mysterious. Yet what sets this 1973 issue apart is not just the missing mark. It's the purity of its strike, the fine preservation of its details, and the uncanny survival of a condition so sharp after decades of circulation. Most nickels from the early 70s are worn down, discolored, or scraped into anonymity. But when a 1973 no mint mark Monticello appears in fine, clear condition, it doesn't just stand out. It demands attention. The first thing you notice about this coin is its clean, bold character. The absence of a mint mark gives it an almost divine simplicity, like a signature erased by time. Jefferson's portrait, chiseled yet calm, sits proud beneath the silver-gray surface, his eyes etched in quiet dignity. Under bright light, the metal reveals a subtle luster, not flashy, but deep and confident. The kind of glow that only comes from coins that have aged naturally, untouched by polishing or cleaning. Turn it over, and the Monticello building still stands with poise. The lines of the dome, the graceful columns, the soft fading of the steps, every detail tells you this coin lived, circulated, and yet, somehow, preserved its beauty. This is the art of time itself, minimal, majestic, and utterly mesmerizing. Among collectors, the 1973 no mint mark nickel has become a quiet legend. Not because of an error, but because of what it represents: survival against all odds. Think about it. Millions were minted, yes. But how many survived in fine condition, without damage, corrosion, or fading? Barely a fraction of a fraction. Most were spent, dropped, scraped, or tossed away. But a rare few, perhaps forgotten in drawers, tucked in envelopes, or sealed in jars, escaped time's punishment. These are the coins collectors fight for. When one surfaces, word spreads fast across numismatic circles. Dealers act quietly, collectors bid secretly, and prices soar faster than anyone can predict. Because when something this plain, this unmarked, this pure survives the chaos of decades, it becomes priceless. And now comes the truth, the part that separates this coin from the rest. At a recent U.S. rare coin auction, one of these 1973 Monticello Nickels, without mint mark, preserved in fine, natural condition, broke every prediction. As collectors locked eyes on its photographs, bidding wars ignited. The final price? $120,000. That's right, $120,000 for a 5-cent piece that most people would mistake for pocket change. But make no mistake, this is not luck. This is recognition. The world finally sees what collectors have known for years, that the beauty of history often hides in silence. And this silent, unmarked nickel is living proof. If you're serious about coin hunting, here's your roadmap to uncovering this treasure. Search through 1973 Jefferson nickels, especially those with no visible mint mark under Jefferson's portrait or beside the Monticello building. Check every detail under bright light. Look for coins with clear lettering, sharp profiles, and natural fine wear, not polished, not scratched, not artificially cleaned. Focus on the coin's tone, a soft, natural silver-gray patina with slight golden hints means originality. And if you find one that checks every box, you might just be holding a coin worth over 6 figures. Protect it instantly. Use a plastic capsule. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC. The moment it's certified, its story changes forever. That small piece of metal turns into a monumental piece of American history. The 1973 no mint mark Monticello nickel isn't just a rare coin. It's a symbol of simplicity turned into significance. It reminds us that greatness doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers quietly, patiently, through decades of change, until one day it's discovered. This coin has no mint mark, but it has meaning. No flashy finish, but an unshakable presence. It's proof that time itself rewards endurance. And when collectors hold this coin in their hands, they're not just holding metal, they're holding history, survival, and silent strength. A true treasure, born from the art of patience and the magic of time. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every day we reveal America's hidden treasures, stories the world forgot, and fortunes waiting to be rediscovered. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's coin might just be your hidden miracle. Coin number 11. It was 1945, the final year of World War II. America was standing tall, battle-worn but victorious. Factories were roaring, soldiers were returning, and the nation's heart beat with pride and exhaustion. But hidden in the chaos of that final year, the U.S. Mint quietly created something extraordinary. A coin born from war, forged from necessity, and destined to become one of the most mysterious and valuable treasures of the 20th century. This is the 1945 War Nickel with the large S mint mark, a coin that carries the story of victory, sacrifice, and unbelievable worth. During World War II, nickel was more than just a metal, it was a weapon. The U.S. needed every ounce of nickel for tanks, ships, and ammunition. So in 1942, the Mint made a daring change. They altered the Jefferson nickel's composition, replacing the precious nickel metal with a blend of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. These coins weren't just currency, they were part of America's war effort. And by 1945, the final year of this wartime experiment, the Mint produced the large S War Nickels in San Francisco, coins that marked the end of an era and the beginning of a legend. They didn't know it then, but those coins would one day become a fortune waiting to be discovered. When you hold a 1945 large S War Nickel in your hand, you're holding a piece of living history. Its surface glows with the soft silver tone that only wartime composition can create, a metal blend that carries both beauty and bravery. Over the years, it's aged gracefully, the silver lightly tarnished into a soft grey patina with faint golden edges that shimmer under light. Jefferson's portrait stands strong, his face noble, slightly worn from circulation, but still proud. Flip it, and the Monticello building remains sharp, its steps faded slightly, its arches glowing faintly under time's touch. And then your eyes fall on the large S mint mark above the dome, bold, clear, and powerful. That S isn't just a letter, it's a symbol of San Francisco, of production during the final months of war, and of America's unbreakable spirit. The 1945 large S War Nickel marks the final chapter of the Wartime Silver series, and that alone makes it rare. But what makes it legendary is survival. Millions were made, but very few survived in true collectible condition. Decades of use, oxidation, and silver reaction destroyed most of them. Only a few hundred still exist with that rich wartime glow and the unmistakable large S mint mark intact, and even fewer have remained unpolished, uncleaned, and authentic to their original strike. Every surviving piece is a whisper from history, a silent witness of a world that changed forever in 1945. Collectors don't just buy these coins. They chase them. They study the mint marks, trace the silver reaction, and pay extraordinary amounts for even lightly circulated examples. Because this isn't just metal, it's memory, it's victory, it's America frozen in silver. And now, the part that still shocks even the experts. One of these 1945 large S War Nickels, in beautiful circulated condition but still holding its silver luster, surfaced at a private auction this year. The bidding was fierce. What started as hundreds turned into thousands, until finally the hammer fell and the world gasped. $182,000. Yes, a war nickel. A coin worth 5 cents in 1945, now commanding a price that could rewrite your future. And here's the truth, this isn't a fluke. The demand for wartime silver nickels has skyrocketed as collectors realize how few remain in original condition. The market value of these coins keeps climbing year after year. Experts say, this is just the beginning. Don't take this as fiction. This is a fact written in silver, sealed by history, and unfolding right now. If you're a coin hunter or a passionate collector, This is your moment. Search for 1,945 Jefferson nickels and look above the Monticello Dome. That's where you'll find the large S mint mark. The letter should be bold, wide, and unmistakably large, much bigger than other mint marks from the series. Examine the surface under white light. Genuine war nickels will show a unique silver-gray shine with hints of gold or blue from the silver content. Avoid cleaned coins. True circulated ones with natural tone and even wear are more valuable than polished ones. If you find one, protect it instantly. Keep it sealed and send it for professional grading to PCGS or NGC. Once certified, its value can jump dramatically because collectors know authenticity is everything. Your next rare find might be sitting right inside your grandfather's old jar of change, waiting to make history again. The 1,945 large S War nickel isn't just a collectible. It's a survivor. It lived through a time when America gave everything, when men and women worked together, when families rationed, when metal became ammunition, and when even a 5-cent coin played its part in freedom's story. This coin carries the DNA of victory, a silent salute to the generation that built and defended America's greatest century. And now, nearly 80 years later, it carries another meaning: fortune. The treasure is real. The history is alive. And every time one of these rare 1,945 large S nickels surfaces, it reminds us that value doesn't fade, it evolves. You're not just collecting a coin. You're preserving a moment when America stood unshakable. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where we uncover the hidden wealth buried in America's past. One story, one coin, one miracle at a time. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's video could reveal the next forgotten treasure waiting in your own hand. Coin number 12. The year was 1945. The world was at its breaking point. The Second World War was ending, but not without sacrifice. And in the very heart of America, deep within the Philadelphia Mint, a small silver coin was being struck, one that would outlive the war itself. The 1,945 Monticello 5-cent war nickel with the large P mint mark. A coin so powerful, so symbolic, that today it's valued at a staggering $185,000. During World War II, nickel was a metal of survival, essential for armor, engines, and military machinery. To save this critical resource, the U.S. Mint replaced it with silver, creating what we now call the war nickels. But the 1,945 issue was unlike any other. It marked the final year of this historic composition, a farewell strike, the last silver whisper of wartime America. Its design, still showing Thomas Jefferson's calm profile, became a symbol of endurance, of a nation ready to heal, yet unwilling to forget. Flip this coin over, and right above Monticello's dome, you'll see something extraordinary. A large P mint mark, bold and unmistakable. That P stands for Philadelphia, but in truth, it stands for patriotism and perseverance. Never before, and never again, would the Mint place a large P so proudly above a coin's architecture. It was a secret message to every American. We are still here. We are still fighting. We will not fall. Think about it. This tiny 5-cent piece once jingled in the pockets of a generation rebuilding the world. From the factory worker to the soldier's wife, from the newsboy on the corner to the veteran stepping off the train, the 1,945 war nickel traveled through hands filled with hope and heartache alike. Its lightly black shade and circulated texture tell that story. Every mark, every fade, is a fingerprint of time, proof that this coin lived through the final days of a global war. The 1945 with P War nickel was produced in smaller numbers than most imagine. And after the war ended, many were melted down, their silver repurposed, their stories lost. Only a few 100,000 survive in collectible condition today, and even fewer retain their original wartime silver alloy and natural patina. That's why, when a lightly black-shaded circulated example appears at auction, the price doesn't just climb, it explodes. It happened again recently. A collector's dream came true when a rare 1945 with P War nickel sold for an unbelievable $185,000. Imagine that. A coin worth just 5 cents when minted, now a small fortune. And experts believe its value is still rising as wartime silver coins vanish from public hands and enter private vaults forever. The 1945 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with large P mint mark isn't just rare, it's historic. It represents the end of the war nickel era, the moment America shifted from battle to peace. And though it's small in size, its value and legacy are monumental. From wartime mints to modern auctions, its journey proves one thing. Every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. So check your coins, look closer, because your next discovery might just be a $185,000 miracle. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where history meets hidden fortune. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's pocket change could be your life-changing discovery. Coin number 30, 1942, the world trembled. The oceans burned, skies thundered with warplanes, and America mobilized with everything it had. But behind the roaring factories and the rumble of tanks, a quieter revolution was happening inside the U.S. Mint. The government issued a secret order. The nickel, America's humble 5-cent piece, would have to sacrifice its own metal for the nation's fight. What followed changed numismatic history forever. This is the 1942 war nickel with the large P mint mark, the first silver nickel ever minted in the United States, and one of the rarest survivors of World War II. Nickel, the tough, resilient metal, was desperately needed for weapons and armor plating. The U.S. Mint faced a crisis. How do you keep producing nickels when the world needs nickel for the battlefield? The answer came in the fall of 1942. Scientists crafted a completely new alloy, 56% copper, 35% silver, 9% manganese. It was shiny, bright, and slightly heavier, but most importantly, it conserved pure nickel for the war. And to mark this radical change, the mint added something the world had never seen before on a U.S. coin, a giant mint mark above the Monticello dome. The letter P stood boldly for Philadelphia, but that year, it also stood for patriotism. Look at this 1942 war nickel, and you'll see time itself etched into its skin. Its surface carries a deep black layer, not dirt, not corrosion, but the natural patina of silver aging with grace. Jefferson's portrait appears slightly darker, as if shadowed by the era he represents. Dignity under pressure. Flip it over, and Monticello rises in silver-gray calm, a symbol of endurance amidst chaos. And right above it, that large P, bold, unmissable, and filled with history. This wasn't just a mint mark. It was America's silent declaration. We will win, and even our coins will fight with us. What makes the 1942 large P war nickel so extraordinary is that it was the very first silver nickel ever struck. It marked the birth of an era, the beginning of the War Nickel series. That makes it not only rare, but historically sacred. Over 80 years have passed, and most of these coins vanished from circulation, melted down for their silver, or worn beyond recognition. But this one survived. Its fine condition, natural black tone, and intact large P mint mark make it a treasure that collectors chase like gold. When a coin like this surfaces, it isn't treated like change. It's treated like heritage. At a high-profile U.S. auction this year, a collector's 1,942 large P War nickel, rich in black-silver contrast, appeared on the block. The starting bid was modest. Then came the flood, bidders from coast to coast, voices clashing over history. 10,000, 50, 150,000, until the hammer struck at a breathtaking $196,500. Nearly $200,000 for a 5-cent piece that once jingled in wartime pockets. But this isn't fantasy. This is fact. And experts believe its value will only climb as time deepens its legend. Because treasures like this don't just appreciate, they ascend. If you're hunting for one of these treasures, remember this. Check the year 1942, but pay special attention to what's above the Monticello dome. You must see a large, bold P mint mark. Examine the color. A silver-gray body with a darker, natural black sheen means the coin's untouched. Never clean it. Cleaning destroys the very patina that proves its authenticity. Look for sharp detail around Jefferson's cheek and Monticello's steps. That's what separates ordinary pieces from fine-condition survivors. If you ever find one like this, secure it immediately. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC. Once authenticated, its price skyrockets, and your small find could transform into a life-changing discovery. The 1,942 large P War nickel isn't just a coin. It's a silent soldier, born from sacrifice, forged in patriotism, and preserved by time itself. It carries the heartbeat of a nation that gave up its comfort to defend freedom. Today it stands as a symbol that even the smallest piece of metal can hold the weight of history and the promise of fortune. And when you hold this nickel in your hand, you're not holding 5 cents. You're holding 1,942, a year when America turned metal into might. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every coin hides a fortune and every story reveals the soul of America's past. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's discovery might just change what's in your pocket and your future. Coin number 14, 1,942, a year that changed the world. The United States was deep in the fire of World War II. Every factory, every worker, every ounce of metal was dedicated to victory. But while tanks rolled and planes soared, something extraordinary was happening inside the Philadelphia Mint. Quietly, secretly, and unlike anything the nation had ever seen. The U.S. Mint was ordered to give up nickel for the war. So they created a new kind of coin, one that would fight not with bullets, but with silver. And thus was born the 1,942 War Nickel with the large P mint mark, the very first American 5-cent coin made with silver. A coin that would outlive war, defy time, and today stand as a beacon of value, history, and untold fortune. It started as an act of sacrifice. Nickel, a key metal used in American 5-cent coins, was also critical for making tanks, ships, and aircraft. When the government declared nickel a strategic war material, the Mint had to act fast. In October 1942, the first ever war nickels were born, crafted not from nickel, but from a new secret formula. 56% copper, 35% silver, 9% manganese. These coins looked similar to regular Jefferson nickels, but their soul was entirely different. They shimmered with the silver glow, and each one carried a giant symbol of wartime America, a large mint mark above Monticello's dome. For the first time in U.S. history, Philadelphia's coins bore the letter P. It was a proud mark of purpose and a silent message to the world that America would never surrender. Today, this 1942 large P war nickel carries with it 8 decades of stories. Its surface may be circulated, its shine softened by hands long gone, yet its beauty remains undeniable. Jefferson's face still watches forward, strong, determined, and noble. The fields around his portrait shimmer with the faint silver tone that only these wartime alloys possess. Turn the coin over, and there it is. The Monticello building, classic and elegant, slightly worn, yet majestic. And right above the dome, that proud, oversized P. The letter gleams like a badge of honor, America's quiet promise struck into metal, surviving through decades of change. The 1942 large P war nickel was the beginning of a series that would last only until 1945. Millions were made, yes, but few survived in collectible form. Most were spent, melted for their silver after the war, or corroded away by time. But the few that remain, like this one, in circulated yet well-preserved condition, are priceless windows into history. They're living evidence of America's transformation, from crisis to strength, from scarcity to victory. And collectors know, once a coin like this appears, it doesn't stay on the market for long. It's pursued, debated, and fought for, because it represents something no modern coin can ever recreate. A heartbeat of courage cast in silver. At a recent numismatic auction, when a 1942 large P war nickel appeared under the bright lights, it drew instant awe. The room fell silent. The bids began. 10,000, 30, 100,000. And then a sharp voice from the back raised the stakes beyond belief. The hammer came down at an astounding $195,000. Yes, $195,000 for a 5-cent piece forged in the fire of war. But this isn't just about price, it's about meaning. Because this coin doesn't just tell history, it is history. And its value, both in dollars and in legacy, rises higher every single year. If you ever dream of finding this hidden gem, here's your guide. Look first for the year 1942. That's your entry point into wartime coinage. Then turn the coin over. Above the Monticello dome, you should see a large, bold P mint mark. That single letter confirms it's a genuine war nickel, struck in silver, not nickel. Check the surface. Circulated pieces will show smooth wear, but should retain clear outlines of Jefferson and Monticello. And most importantly, look for that natural, silver-gray tone with a hint of black. That's the aging of authentic silver alloy, a patina collectors crave. If you find one like this, never underestimate it, because what looks like an ordinary old nickel could be worth a small fortune. Get it graded, protect it, and cherish it. You could be holding a fragment of America's victory in your hand. Every coin tells a story, but this one tells a story of sacrifice. The 1942 war nickel with large P mint mark isn't about wealth alone. It's about pride, resilience, and the brilliance of American innovation in its darkest hour. This circulated piece may bear the marks of time, but it also carries the marks of greatness. When you hold it, you don't just feel metal, you feel history, courage, and the power of a nation that turned even its change into a weapon of hope. So remember, never overlook a 1942 war nickel, because inside that small silver coin beats the heart of America's wartime soul. and a treasure that will only grow in value year after year. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where history hides in your pocket, and every discovery can change your life forever. Subscribe now, because tomorrow we'll reveal another rare coin that could rewrite your idea of fortune. Coin number 15, 1944. The world was at war. Soldiers fought across continents, and freedom itself hung by a thread. But deep inside the U.S., mint, far from the battlefield, another kind of hero was being created. A coin, small, silver and silent, yet forged with the same spirit that fueled America's victory. The Monticello 5-cent war nickel of 1944 with the large P mint mark. It wasn't just money, it was a mission. Every strike of this coin carried the heartbeat of a nation that refused to surrender. Nickel had become too precious to use in coins. It was needed for tanks, for ships, for weapons of victory. So in 1942, the U.S. Mint did something no one expected. They changed history. They replaced nickel with a secret wartime blend, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. It was no longer a simple 5-cent coin. It was a message that even America's smallest currency would stand tall in defense of freedom. And by 1944, when this coin was struck, the tide of war was turning. The Allied forces were closing in. Victory was near. And in those very moments, this 1944 with P war nickel rolled off the press, carrying the soul of a generation that refused to give up. Its surface bears a gentle black shade, not a flaw, but a natural patina, formed from time, air, and silver's quiet oxidation. It gives this coin a look of aged glory, as if it still remembers the world it was born into. Thomas Jefferson's portrait glows faintly, his eyes forward, determined. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty 1944", still whisper the power of the past. Turn it over, and above the Monticello dome stands the unmistakable large P mint mark. Bold, proud, a mark that told every American this was no ordinary coin. This was silver for victory. Each 1944 with P war nickel is more than metal. It's memory. These coins traveled through hands that built planes, fueled ships, sent letters to soldiers, and kept the home front alive. Some were lost, buried, or melted after the war, but the few that survived, like this one, are now priceless relics of courage. Every scratch tells a story. Every mark is a footprint of time. And when collectors hold this coin today, they aren't just holding history, they're holding the spirit of 1944, the spirit that changed the world. At a rare coin auction, when a 1944 large P war nickel appeared, the room shifted. Eyes locked. Collectors leaned forward. The bidding began. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. And finally, the hammer struck at a breathtaking $190,000. Yes, $190,000 for a 5-cent coin. Because it isn't just silver. It's sacrifice, survival, and pride, all minted into a single piece of American history. So how can you spot this $190,000 treasure? Step 2. Look above the Monticello. Step 2. Look above the Monticello dome for a large, bold P mint mark. Step 3. Feel for that unique silver-like shine with a light black patina. And remember, true war nickels have a slightly different sound when dropped on a hard surface. A faint silver ring, not the dull thud of modern nickels. If you find one, never overlook it, because in your change jar, your attic, or your old collection could be a coin that connects you directly to the heroes of 1944 and could be worth a small fortune. The 1944 with P War nickel is more than rare. It's immortal. Forged in war, carried through peace, and now resting as a symbol of hope. Its silver surface still gleams like a soldier's medal. Its black shade speaks of time and truth. From a humble 5-cent piece to a 6-figure treasure, this coin proves that true value isn't just in metal. It's in the story, the sacrifice, and the spirit it carries. So if you ever find a 1944 war nickel, stop. Look. Listen. Because you might just be holding a piece of America's greatest victory. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every coin has a story, and every story hides a treasure. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's coin might just shock the world. Coin number 16. In 1943, while the world was trembling under the storm of World War II, America was minting a different kind of soldier. Not one that fought with guns or ships, but with silver, copper, and courage. The Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large P mint mark wasn't just currency. It was a symbol, a whisper of strength, survival, and sacrifice. And today, it stands as one of the most sought-after and spellbinding treasures ever struck by the United States Mint. By 1943, America's factories thundered night and day. Every ounce of nickel was pulled from circulation, diverted to armor plating, airplanes, and munitions. But commerce couldn't stop. The people still needed coins. And so, the Mint turned to a new formula, a blend of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This was no ordinary coin. This was the war nickel, a small piece of silver patriotism designed to keep the economy moving while the nation fought for freedom. Each strike of the press echoed the rhythm of wartime America, fast, focused, unbreakable. And from those presses came one of the most mysterious creations of the decade, the 1943 war nickel with the bold, proud P mint mark hovering above the Monticello dome. Time has left its fingerprints on this coin. Its surface carries a natural black layer, formed from decades of oxidation, not decay but beauty. A soft shadow across its silver surface, giving it depth, mystery, and an aura that feels almost sacred. In fine condition, Jefferson's profile still shines, firm, noble, and eternal. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty 1943" remain crisp, even after 80 years. Flip it, and you'll see the Monticello building, its columns proud and defined, and above it, that unmistakable large P mint mark. That P was more than a letter. It was a promise, a mark that said, even in wartime, America endures. The 1943 large P war nickel is one of the most desirable in the entire wartime series. Not just because of its silver content, but because of its history and survival. Millions were minted, yes, but few survived in this kind of condition. Most were melted after the war, reabsorbed into the chaos of the booming post-war economy. Others lost their luster, corroded, or disappeared in circulation. But the few that remain in fine condition, with that mysterious black layer and perfect details, those are collector gold. Numismatists call them ghost coins of the Silver Age, because everyone you find feels like uncovering a forgotten story from the heart of the 1940s. When one of these war nickels appeared at a private U.S. auction, experts and collectors leaned forward in silence. The bidding began slowly. $20,000, $50,000, then surged like a tide. $100,000, $150,000, and finally, the hammer dropped, $182,000. Yes, you heard right. $182,000 for a coin that once represented only 5 cents. Because this isn't just metal, it's memory. It's American resilience cast into silver. And here's the best part. Its value is climbing. Every single year, as collectors realize how few pristine examples remain, the market surges higher. Don't underestimate it. Don't doubt it. The 1943 War Nickels story has only just begun. So how do you know if you've stumbled upon one of these wartime treasures? First, the year 1943. Second, flip it over and look above Monticello's dome. You'll see a large, bold P mint mark. This was the first time in U.S. history that a mint mark was placed on the reverse like this. Third, the color. The real 1943 War Nickel has a unique gray-silver tone, sometimes kissed by a gentle black layer that reveals its age and purity. The sound test? Drop it gently on a table. You'll hear a light, ringing silver note unlike any modern nickel. If you find one that matches these traits, protect it instantly. Place it in a capsule and send it for grading. Because a true certified 1943 War Nickel could be your passport to numismatic history. And yes, to six-figure fortune. The 1943 large P Monticello War Nickel isn't just a collector's dream. It's a living memory of sacrifice, innovation, and unity. Every glint of silver on its surface is a reflection of a time when the nation stood shoulder to shoulder, when every citizen gave something, even their coins, for victory. And now, this small piece of history has transformed into one of the rarest treasures of the modern coin market. It's proof that true value doesn't fade. It grows stronger with time. So the next time you see a 1943 nickel, pause. Look closer. You might just be holding a treasure forged in the fire of freedom. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every coin tells a hidden story and every story hides a fortune. Subscribe today, because tomorrow's discovery might just make history again. Coin number 17. 1944. The world is at war. While soldiers fought across Europe and the Pacific, a quiet miracle was being struck on the other side of the world, in the U.S. Mint at San Francisco. Out of molten silver and fire, a new hero was born. The Monticello 5-cent War Nickel with the large S mint mark. This wasn't just a coin. It was a weapon of endurance, a symbol of sacrifice, and a silent witness to the courage that shaped history. And today, this War Nickel doesn't just tell a story, it commands attention, standing among America's most valuable wartime treasures. By 1944, the U.S. Mint had a mission unlike any in its history. Nickel, one of the nation's most needed metals, was vanishing into tanks, airplanes, and artillery. To keep commerce alive, the Mint replaced nickel with a wartime blend. 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, and the result was the iconic War Nickel. But in San Francisco, something extraordinary happened. The coins struck there bore a large S mint mark, bold and proud above Monticello, marking their origin from the West Coast Mint that kept America supplied during its darkest hour. Each 1944 S nickel rolled off the press not as change, but as a promise that no matter how hard the times, America would still move forward. When you hold a 1944 with S War Nickel in fine condition, you're holding a time capsule. The black layer that softly covers its surface isn't damage. It's beauty, formed by silver's quiet reaction to time and air. It's the natural patina of history, a reminder that this coin has seen decades pass and survived them all. Jefferson's face still gleams with the determination of a founding father, his gaze calm, his lines clear. Flip it over and the Monticello building stands proud, its steps and columns crisp, every detail echoing the precision of the wartime mint. But look above the dome, and you'll see it. The large S mint mark, deep, bold, and eternal, San Francisco's signature of strength and craftsmanship. Among all the war nickels, the 1944 with S stands apart. Not just for its beauty, but for its scarcity. While millions were made, very few survived in this remarkable fine condition. Many were melted for their silver content in the years after the war. Others vanished into circulation and were lost forever. The few that remain, with that perfect black patina, sharp details, and untouched structure, are the pride of advanced collectors. Each surviving 1944S is a warrior returned home from history, a survivor from the battlefields of time. When a pristine 1944S war nickel appeared at a major auction, silence filled the room. The bidding began $30,000, $70,000, then it surged. $120,000, $150,000, until finally $186,000. That's right. $186,000 for a coin that once cost 5 cents. Why? Because this isn't metal, it's memory. It's the spirit of 1944, a nation that stood tall in the face of chaos and turned its smallest coin into a symbol of victory. And here's the truth. Its value is rising every single year. Experts predict that within a decade, this coin could become one of the most sought-after silver nickels in U.S. history. This isn't hype, it's the unstoppable march of rarity meeting demand. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a 1944 nickel in your hands, check it carefully. First, the year 1944. Second, flip it and look above the Monticello dome. You'll see a large S mint mark, bold, clean, and proudly centered. The real treasure lies in the detail, clear Jefferson features, sharp Monticello lines, and a natural dark tone that shows its silver purity. Remember, the surface should have that light black layer, not from damage, but from natural silver oxidation. If yours matches this description, you could be holding a treasure worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Protect it immediately, grade it through PCGS or NGC, and guard it like a relic of America's golden age. The 1944S war nickel isn't just rare, it's sacred. It carries the strength of a nation, the pride of its mint, and the memory of millions who lived through one of the world's most turbulent eras. Its black layer is not a stain, it's a shadow of time. Its shine is not mere metal, it's the reflection of freedom itself. From 5 cents to $186,000, this coin's journey mirrors the American dream. That even the smallest things can rise to greatness when forged by purpose. So next time you come across a 1944 nickel, don't overlook it. Because you might just be holding not only a fortune, but a fragment of American courage. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, the home of America's hidden treasures. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's discovery could rewrite the story of history and maybe even your life. Coin number 18. The year was 1945. The world was breathing its first sigh of relief. The war was ending. But in the heart of San Francisco, one last symbol of America's resilience was born. The 1945 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large S mint mark. It was the final chapter of a story written in silver, sweat, and sacrifice. And though many of these coins have been lost, buried, or forgotten, The few survivors, even in dirty age condition, have become legends of the coin-collecting world. 1945 was the last year the United States produced its famous war nickels. For 3 years, from 1942 to 1945, these coins carried a hidden secret. They weren't made from nickel. Every single one was forged from silver, copper, and manganese, a mix created to save nickel metal for the U.S. war effort. Tanks, ships, and fighter planes needed it more than pockets did. But by 1945, with the war drawing to an end, one final batch rolled off the presses of the San Francisco Mint, stamped with a bold, large S mint mark above Monticello's dome. This wasn't just another coin, it was a farewell salute, a last message from America's wartime mint to the world. We endured, and we prevailed. Most 1945 S war nickels you'll find today look worn, dark, even dirty. But that dirt, that isn't just grime. It's time, it's history. Each scratch, each stain, each shadowed edge carries the story of hands that held it through blackouts, rationing, and victory parades. Jefferson's portrait still watches quietly from the front, the lines of his face softened by years but never erased. Flip it, and Monticello stands firm, proud, aged, and surrounded by the silver's natural tarnish, whispering the echoes of a generation that gave everything. And there it is, the large S mint mark, bold, powerful, a mark of the San Francisco Mint's contribution to victory. The 1945 S war nickel marks the end of an era, the final issue of America's wartime silver nickels. After this year, the mint would return to the standard nickel-metal alloy, leaving behind this unique silver composition forever. Collectors across the world know the last of anything is always special. But when it's tied to a global victory, its value skyrockets beyond belief. Very few 1945 S nickels survived in good condition. Most were melted for silver when the war was over. Others circulated until they were too worn to recognize. But even those left in dirty, aged condition are considered historical gold, because they represent the closing chapter of America's greatest generation. When a 1945 S war nickel appeared at auction, no one expected what came next. The bids began slow, $20,000, $50,000, and then the room lit up. $100,000, $150,000, until it struck $175,000. A single 5-cent coin, dirt-stained, silver-toned, aged by 80 years, sold for the price of a luxury home. Why? Because collectors weren't just buying a coin. They were buying the final heartbeat of World War II numismatics. The 1945 S war nickel is a relic of victory, the last breath of wartime silver coinage, immortalized forever in history. If you're lucky enough to find a 1945 nickel, here's how you know you've got something extraordinary. First, the year 1945 clearly stamped under Jefferson's portrait. Second, flip it over and look above Monticello's dome. You'll see a large S mint mark, bold and unmistakable. That's the signature of the San Francisco Mint, and the key to your fortune. Even in dirty or circulated condition, this coin can command unbelievable value if the details are intact. Protect it in a capsule, get it graded by PCGS or NGC, and hold on to it, because every year its market price continues to climb. The 1945 S war nickel isn't just rare, it's final. It marks the end of an era, the last war nickel ever struck, the closing symbol of America's sacrifice and victory. Its silver may have dulled, its surface may be dirty, but its spirit, still shines with the strength of 1945. A coin born in war, now living as a legend. Worth not just $175,000, but a priceless story of courage, hope, and history engraved in metal. Coin number 19. It was 1944. The war was raging. The world was in flames. And yet, deep inside the U.S., mint in Denver, machines were striking something extraordinary. The 1944 Monticello 5-cent war nickel with the large D mint mark. A coin that was never meant to be just money. It was a message, a silver-bound whisper of America's strength, born from fire and forged in wartime metal. In the middle of World War II, every ounce of nickel was desperately needed for tanks, battleships, and aircraft. So the U.S. Mint made a bold decision. They removed nickel entirely from the 5-cent coin. What replaced it was something no one had ever seen before. A unique wartime blend of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. These coins became known as the War Nickels, a shining reminder that every citizen, every factory, and even every coin was part of the battle effort. And in 1944, the Denver Mint produced one of the most elusive treasures of that entire series, the large D Mint Mark War Nickel. On the reverse side of this masterpiece, right above Monticello's dome, you'll see a large, proud D Mint mark, the hallmark of the Denver Mint. Unlike the small, subtle mint marks before the war, this one was loud and deliberate. It was the government's promise to the people. We're using silver now to save nickel for victory. Each coin struck in 1944 carried that proud declaration. But over time, very few survived in collectible condition. Most were spent, melted, or corroded by the decades that followed. So when you find a 1944D with even a trace of green toning, those small emerald spots of age on its silver surface, you're not looking at a flaw, you're looking at a signature of authenticity, a fingerprint from the past. Collectors call it the aged silver glow, that soft green hue, those delicate oxidation marks. They're the whispers of time itself. Each one proves the coin's long, untamed journey through hands, pockets, and decades of history. Some might polish them away, but experts know removing the natural toning means erasing its story. The 1944D War Nickel, with its green-spotted silver luster, is not just a coin, it's an untouched relic. It carries the soul of 1944, a year when America stood tall, united, unshaken, and unstoppable. Among the entire War Nickel lineup, from 1942 to 1945, the 1944D large mint mark stands as one of the hardest to find in fine or better condition. Many were struck fast, under pressure, and with wartime metal that aged differently. But those that remain today, still crisp, still sharp, still breathing that World energy, are pure treasures. They are symbols of endurance, survival, and scarcity. Each one tells the story of how a simple 5-cent piece became a living time capsule of American courage. When a pristine 1944D War Nickel appeared at a collector's auction, it set off a frenzy. $50,000, $100,000, and the bids climbed higher, fueled by disbelief and awe. The hammer finally fell at a stunning $194,000. That's right, a coin born in wartime scarcity, struck from silver meant for soldiers, now stands as one of the most valuable nickels ever to exist. And experts agree, its market value keeps rising. Each year the demand grows. Each auction, collectors chase it with fiercer passion. What was once 5 cents has become a national treasure, a metallic monument worth a lifetime of fortune. Here's what every collector and coin hunter should know. Flip your nickel and look closely above Monticello's dome. You'll find that bold, large D mint mark. That's your first sign. Next, check the date, 1944, and the coin's subtle shine. If it has hints of green or dark toning and still shows Jefferson's features clearly, you might just be holding one of the few remaining relics of Denver's wartime minting. Because these coins are not just investments, they are pieces of living history that grow more precious every year. The 1944 D Monticello 5 cents war nickel is a piece of destiny forged in Denver's fire. It carries in its green tones the story of struggle, courage, and American pride. And even in fine condition, even spotted and aged, it holds a value that defies imagination. $194,000 today, and still climbing. This coin is a mirror of victory, a survivor of history, and proof that sometimes the smallest objects hold the mightiest stories. Never underestimate what hides in your pocket, your drawer, or your old family jar, because your next coin could be a silver legend waiting to rise again. You're watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every coin tells a story, and every story could change your life. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's treasure might already be in your hands. Coin number 20. The year was 1943. The world was burning. The storm of World War II had reached its peak. And while soldiers fought across distant lands, back home in San Francisco, the U.S. Mint was quietly creating a silver legend, a 5-cent coin that carried the weight of war. The 1943 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large S mint mark. A coin that looked ordinary, but held a story so powerful it would one day be worth $180,000 and earn its place among America's most valuable wartime treasures. When America entered World War II, the U.S. Mint faced a crisis. Nickel metal, the key ingredient in every 5-cent coin, was suddenly more valuable to the military than to the economy. It was needed to build tanks, engines, and armor plating. So in 1942, the government took a bold step. They removed nickel entirely from the coin's composition and replaced it with a special wartime alloy, a mixture of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. These new war nickels shimmered with a pale silver glow, a symbol of America's sacrifice, minted not for wealth, but for victory. The San Francisco Mint, known for precision and pride, produced one of the rarest and most admired issues of this era, the 1943 war nickel with the large S mint mark. Look closely at its reverse. Right above Monticello's dome, you'll see that bold, oversized S, as if shouting across history. We are part of the fight too. That S stands not just for San Francisco, but for strength, sacrifice, and spirit. And unlike most coins, every 1943 S carries within it a portion of the nation's wartime silver stockpile, real silver that once powered the economy during America's darkest hour. Many 1943 S war nickels show signs of circulation, scratches, soft edges, a dull shine, but that's not damage, it's evidence. Evidence that this coin lived through history. It passed through the hands of soldiers' families, through post-war shops, through pockets that carried hope. Each worn mark, each faded gleam is a fingerprint of a generation that refused to break. Even in circulated condition, the 1943 S stands proud. Jefferson's portrait calm, Monticello still upright, a survivor from a world that nearly tore itself apart. Most people don't realize how scarce these are. The 1943 War Nickel was minted in limited numbers, and many were melted after the war when silver prices surged. The few that survived remain among the most desirable coins for collectors. It's not just the silver that makes it rare, it's the story behind that silver. This coin represents the heartbeat of wartime America, the unity of a people who turned every resource into a weapon of survival. To hold one today is to touch the pulse of 1943, a moment of struggle, triumph, and transformation. When a 1943 War Nickel in circulated condition crossed the auction block, even experts didn't expect what would happen next. The bids began low, $30,000, $60,000, but then, as collectors realized what they were seeing, the price erupted. $100,000, $140,000, $160,000, until the final hammer fell. $180,000. A coin once worth 5 cents, now commanding a fortune beyond imagination. And here's the best part. Its value isn't frozen. The 1943 War Nickel continues to rise with each passing year. Every coin show, every auction, every collector's vault whispers the same truth. This isn't just a coin, it's a treasure that keeps growing. If you're searching your change or digging through your family's old jar of nickels, here's how to spot the real treasure. Look for the date 1943, just under Jefferson's portrait. Then flip the coin, and right above Monticello's dome, you'll find the unmistakable large S mint mark. That's the sign of the San Francisco Mint, and the mark of wartime silver purity. Even if the coin looks circulated, don't underestimate it. Have it graded by PCGS or NGC. Because in today's booming coin market, this small piece of silver can turn into a monumental fortune. The 1943 Monticello 5 cents War Nickel isn't just metal, it's memory, sacrifice, and triumph, all condensed into one tiny circle of silver. It's the middle child of the War Nickel trio, following 1942 leading into 1944, but its legacy shines the brightest. For collectors, it's not only a valuable investment, it's a piece of American history that beats with the soul of victory. $180,000 today, and its price still climbing, proof that sometimes what looks small, simple, or worn can turn out to be the most powerful story ever struck by human hands. So the next time you hold a nickel, look closer, because behind the hair shine might be the past calling your name. You've been watching Secret of U.S. Coins, where every coin hides a story, and every story hides a treasure. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's discovery could be the fortune waiting in your pocket.